Like to subscribe to all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie is called The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf. Just came out, it's an hour and a half long. Spoiler alert, let's just get it. Now they got a show on Witcher, called The Witcher on Netflix that's already out. It's like one season in. But they decided to do an animated version for this movie. So we got this kid and his dad out here traveling in the forest. His daughters are scared of demons. And they should be, because what the fuck just happened to him? Some demons just came through snatching niggas up. He's running. The girls weren't so lucky they got fucked. And right when you think he's done deal, about to be dead as shit, some guy saves him. Well, who is this? A Witcher by the name of Vesemir. Turns out this demon has some kind of body. Kind of like Death from the Castlevania games. He's got these tentacles that grow out and shit. During the fight, he could turn into a bunch of bats. Like I said, some Castlevania shit. To even the odds, Vesemir drinks some type of potion. You see his eyes all fucked up, right? I don't know, makes him stronger. Who the hell knows? Anyway, he puts some of that good drip on his sword. Stabs him when he's on fire. Done deal, dead as shit. But he's surprised this motherfucker's reading incantations. But as he knows in his world, monsters don't talk. So what the fuck was that monster saying? Afterwards, he picks up the gold from the dead and goes about his business. And the kid is damn near left to fend for himself at this point. But he ends up reaching his castle and tells somebody about the situation. He tells this lady by the name of Tetra, who's actually a princess and has magical powers. Now the thing is, she's against the Witchers and everything they stand for because she thinks they're actually making the monsters and making a profit off of just killing them. But this lady doesn't believe that to be true. And the king agrees until further notice. Besides, he knows how the Witchers get down. He don't want beef between them niggas. They already got peace. Meanwhile, back on the streets, this nigga Vesemir is bathing himself and enjoying himself, eating great finest foods, you know what I'm saying, drinking wine and shit. He talks to this elf that's a friend of his, he needs a favor or whatnot. The elf tells him stories about girls disappearing and whatnot. The thing is, he's not into doing favors, he's about that money. On the surface, you look at him, you think to yourself, he's some type of asshole, right? But then we flash back to his childhood. The elders treated him like shit. They learned with a lady that has some type of demon in her. Well, anyway, they leave him to go clean the stables. And his best friend is this girl named Ilana. They was real close back in the day. So she talks about her dreams about owning a farmhouse, you know what I'm saying, peaceful times. He all about that adventure life. He's tired of being stuck here. So the lady he's staying with that has a demon inside her, she needs to get some type of herbs. They're going to use the money to buy a honey cake. So Vesemir pulls a distraction like he's going to steal some shit. Meanwhile, Ayana's really stealing the herbs. He ends up getting a honey cake though. But some guy by the name of Deslo found him. He was spying on her the whole time. So he knows that she's got somebody sick. So he says, take me to her or I'll turn you in for stealing. So he takes her to her, he confronts all this type of magic and stuff. Ends up getting the demon out of her, which was stuck in her stomach. Like some type of spider thing that Vesemir was trying to chase after. Then the spider turned into Ilana. I'm like, what the fuck? Then Deslo killed it. It turned back into a spider. Done deal. Vesemir actually wanted to go with Deslo, but Deslo was like, nah. If you want to be a Witcher, you can't hesitate. And as we seen just now, you hesitated thinking that was Ilana. Later on next day, they had this big discussion. Vesemir's not being his normal self for obvious reasons. They have kind of a little argument because they have two different paths in life. She's content with being here, but he's not. He needs adventure. He needs to go find himself. So later on, after he went to go see her one more time, he sets off on a journey. But then while he's walking, he sees this one place on fire. And now back in present time. Checking up on him is his right-hand man, Rika. Basically at the Witcher's camp, and then they bring in new recruits all the time. They prepare the kids early to fuck up monsters and all that shit. Then later on he has his one-on-one talk with Deslo again. Yeah, he's got no, but bottom line is, he still got his scales. And Deslo says something real strange. He said, who knew beasts would be good for business? What the fuck did that statement mean? Meanwhile, Tetra goes to the forest and sees all this damn carnage. Meanwhile, this lady and Tetra had beef. Back and forth about their varying opinions. Right off the back, you can tell their ideologies don't match up. Meanwhile, you got them training the kids. Apparently, they ain't ate in a couple of days. That's what it takes to survive, little nigga. Get it right. Well, damn. I guess he would know best, right? Then we get to this flashback when he was in the Witcher's program early when his young age. And he's supposed to have him going through tests and whatnot. But boy, oh boy, I don't think they expected this. They all wake up in the middle of a damn swamp. And apparently this swamp is supposed to have all types of beasts. And when their medallions vibrate, it alerts them that monsters are on the way. Hey, they come ready to fuck shit up. Bottom line, a lot of them niggas end up getting duffed. Only Vesemir and a couple boys ended up surviving. And when I say a couple, I mean literally like two. Then he sees a tree of all the medallions of people that didn't live. And there's a lot of them hanging off this tree. So at this point, he's looking for Deslo. He goes into his room where all this lab work is being done. And this guy named Loki is telling him about how all the stuff is being done. They create magic potions and stuff. But he don't care about that. Obviously, he's pissed off at Deslo for sending all these niggas to their death. But he basically tells them it's a numbers game. Survival of the fittest, nigga. Man, that's some messed up stuff, man. And then for the people that did survive, he goes through all these lab tests. They inject them with all types of pain-inducing stuff. To the point where they feel like they're damn near dead. If they survive to this point, they'll become full-fledged Witchers. So basically, that's the type of shit he went through growing up. Now, it's a little bit easier to have sympathy for Vesemir. Yes, to a certain extent. Because he never really had to leave the place that he was at, but at the same time he went through hell and risked his life to obtain his desires. And in the process he's still helping people out, whether it's for money or not. So yeah, I kind of have sympathy for his character. He goes around slaying demons, he's trying to train other people to be demon slayers, or witchers, so they can learn to protect themselves, all that good shit. So normally you could look at a person like this as 50-50, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta think about the times they in, and you're like, you know what, I'm fully on board with this guy. Now me personally, I love this character. I understand how most people want somebody sympathetic to the cause, you know what I'm saying? So one day, Vesemir and Rika are chilling with some girls, they try to get it popping. This one night wants to start some shit. Provoking no watchers. Witchers, my bad. He came looking for the beef first, so Rika had to defend himself. Now it turns out in that situation, Rika ended up killing both of them niggas, so yeah. Then this lady and Tetra get into beef again. So the king's like, alright, enough of this shit. We're gonna send some men out in the forest and we're gonna see what's really going on with all this Witcher stuff. So Rika's locked up, but they put Vesemir in some random ass room. He meets up with the lady that's been beefing with Tetra. Come to find out, she's actually Ilana the whole time. The thing is, she's gotten a hell of a lot older. And I guess with him, he's supposed to look older, but apparently because he's a witch, he's not. Well, that and the fact that the serums and all the type of stuff they were inducing him with, but still. So they catch up with old times. She had herself a husband and 3 kids who was apparently deceased now. So they tell him about this mission that he's got to go on, but he's going to end up taking somebody unexpected. He's got to go there with Tetra. So they get along for a brief second, and I mean a brief second. She tells her a story about a witcher betraying a knight, so obviously you can tell right out the back she don't trust him for shit. Yeah, man, she hate them niggas. So they feel like they've been lost in the forest for hours, right? So she does some magic and realizes that this all been an illusion. She's been right in front of it the whole time. And you got this demon by the name of Kitsu. Apparently Kitsu was somebody they knew. They was trying to talk to him, but he wasn't trying to have none of that. And then he got his other demon next to him like, alright, we about to handle business. And so the beef gets on and popping. They had a tough time with it at first, but they ended up fricasseeing this motherfucker. Kitsu ends up turning into a fox somehow and escaping. Then Tetra breaks another barrier and we get another spot. They go into this cave and they find all the elf girls dead as shit. And Vesemir finds his man's all tied up and shit. So they're like, how in the world did you get over here? He had to lead him where the girls is, but then he discovered something else. They discovered the potions and all this other stuff. Turns out somebody's been crossbreeding monsters. Then they end up finding the little elf girls all the way messed up. But he goes out his way to save her. Tetra's thinking because she's crossbreed, she's like, man, I gotta end this bitch. Vesemir's like, nope, she's still an elf, she's still good. He says, look, man, if the child turns out to be, it turns into a horrible monster, whatever like that, I'll kill her myself. So he's like, you trusting him to do this, huh? Really? Like, nigga, I owe him a favor. That's what it is. It's real. Besides, she's still an elf right now. She's like, alright, fine. I'm gonna give y'all time to get up out of here, and I'm destroying this fucking place. So they dip and she destroys that shit. Vesemir and Ilana get a little bit more time in. Turns out Kitsu was actually forced into being a crossbreed. He's stronger than your average monster and he's pissed off about everything. So apparently the king has proof that one of the witchers breeds monstrosities. Rika don't know what the fuck he's talking about, man. But they end up chopping that nigga head off anyway. Done deal, dead as shit. Ilana in position of power is kind of being questioned right now. Meanwhile, Vesemir goes investigating. He finds out somebody really is making monsters for them to be killed. Turns out it was really Deathlow all along. Vesemir's like, yo, fuck all this shit. I really don't want to fight you, but bottom line is we gotta have beef. Then they get the fight in. Then my man Loki's like, look, man, we ain't got time for this shit. Ilana's like, man, y'all need to come up front. Tetra brought their troops. They ready for beef. They're like, man, fuck this shit. We gotta get the kids out of here. The rest of our niggas line up. It's time for action. One last lovey-dovey moment, and now time for confrontation. The thing we didn't know is that Tetra met up with Kitsu before everybody left. She branded a bond with him to bring forth their monsters to kill off the witchers. What the fuck? Summoning all types of niggas to the upper dimension, and then the beef was on the crack end. She chilled with the kids. The kids like, look, it's a patchway in the back. We gotta get the fuck out of here. She tells her to go out the back way. She got some business to attend to. We get inside the box. We got niggas. Tetra got the top niggas at her mercy. She about to finish off all them. Then Tetra's like, oh, I'm tired of hearing your shit. You can get done with too, nigga. Vesemir's trying to save the day. But then Kitsu comes out of nowhere and hits him with some mind controlling technique. And he starts having these visions about Ilana. He had visions about Rika and the boys, who we already know he's dead. He has visions about them painting, having a son together. But he knows this bullshit and snaps out of it. And then it's back to business. And even though Kitsu controls monsters, he's treated like a side player compared to Tetra. Tetra really runs the whole shit. And at one point you think to yourself, oh shit, he just sliced her fucking head off. But that was an illusion too. Come to find out, Ilana ended up getting stabbed. Tetra was hitting him with arrows from the distance. And now she about to finish him off. Oh no. And the story that she told basically at camp, the person that got betrayed was her mom. By another witcher. So obviously she's got her reasons for killing these motherfuckers. And I don't believe either side is wrong. I think they're both 50-50 on both aspects. Right when she's about to finish off Vesemir, she gets done deal deaded by Deathlow coming through and saving the day. You already know he about to be done deal. He just gonna sit there. So he takes Ilana and gets the hell out of there. While they talk about the sunset, Ilana's injuries are too bad. She ends up dying too. Last thing you see is him going over towards the kids that he found. He gives them bloody medallions of the past witchers. So basically it's a bunch of calamity, mayhem, people playing both sides of the fence. You don't even really know exactly who to root for in this situation. I mean, Tetra had her points too, but so did Vesemir. The Witcher, Nightmare the Wolf on Netflix. Check it out, like, subscribe to all that. You already know what time it is for these other stars. Big, you got a slogan.